was a Monday morning like no other. The sun was barely peeking over the horizon, and already Sarah was juggling breakfast, her laptop, and her 5-year-old Max, who was determined to wear his superhero cape to school. With coffee in one hand and a spatula in the other, she felt like a circus performer, spinning plates while balancing on a tightrope. As a single parent, Sarah had mastered the art of multitasking, but some days felt like a tight race against time. The alarm had blared at 5 a.m., her cue to rise and tackle the day. She had a crucial meeting at work, classes to attend, and Max to get ready. The weight of her responsibilities pressed down on her, but she had a vision to build a better future for her son. She often thought about the sacrifices her own parents had made for her and how she wanted to honor their legacy by providing for Max in ways they could only dream of. As she stirred the eggs, she glanced at her laptop, where her to-do list seemed to grow by the minute. Deadlines loomed and her heart raced. But in the midst of chaos, Sarah found her anchor, a mantra she had created, one step at a time. With each bite of breakfast, she repeated this to herself, a gentle reminder that progress didn't have to be perfect, just persistent. The clock ticked louder, and soon it was time to drop Max off at school. She knelt down, looking into his bright eyes, and said, "Remember, buddy, every superhero has a hard day sometimes, but they always keep trying, just like us." He grinned back, adjusting his cape as he bounded into the schoolyard. Watching him run off, she felt a swell of pride mixed with a tinge of sadness. Her little boy was growing up so fast. After the drop-off, Sarah rushed to her job at a local nonprofit, where she worked tirelessly to help families in need. But today, the pressure felt heavier. Her boss had handed her a new project that seemed impossible to tackle alone. The weight of expectation hung over her like a dark cloud, and she felt a familiar knot of anxiety forming in her stomach. Instead of letting fear take over, Sarah reached out to her colleagues. "Can I get some help with this?" she asked, her voice steady but her heart racing. To her surprise, they rallied around her, each bringing their own skills and ideas. Together, they transformed the daunting task into a shared mission. This experience taught Sarah something invaluable. Vulnerability is strength. In asking for help, she created a community, a team that would support one another through challenges. It reminded her of the importance of collaboration, especially in a world that often glorifies self-reliance. She felt lighter, more hopeful, knowing she wasn't alone in her struggles. After work, she logged into her online classes. Balancing her job and education was like walking through a minefield. There were nights when exhaustion pulled her under, and she questioned if she could keep it up. The pressure of grades, work responsibilities, and being a mother seemed to multiply every week, and at times it felt overwhelming. But she had a trick up her sleeve. She turned her study sessions into family time. Max would sit beside her, coloring while she read textbooks. "What's that word, Mom?" he'd ask. His curiosity motivated her to dive deeper into her studies. She made learning a game, creating quizzes and flashcards that Max could help with. This turned her education into a bonding experience, reinforcing her commitment to both her goals and her son. They would often laugh over silly flashcard mistakes, and Max's innocent questions would lead her to explore subjects in ways she never thought possible. Each night, as she tucked Max into bed, she would share a story about a hero who faced challenges and never gave up. "Just like us, right, Mom?" he would say, and she would smile, realizing that they were both superheroes in their own right. She loved watching his eyes light up as she spun tales of bravery and resilience, knowing that these stories would become the foundation of his own beliefs about facing adversity. Months rolled by, and the challenges didn't get any easier, but Sarah learned to celebrate small victories. She started a gratitude journal where she wrote down one thing she achieved each day, no matter how small. It could be completing an assignment, receiving praise at work, or even the simple joy of seeing Max laugh. These moments became her fuel, igniting her spirit when she felt worn down. As she filled the pages of her journal, she began to notice patterns. Days when she felt particularly low often coincided with neglecting her self-care. So she started to incorporate small rituals, a short walk during lunch, a few minutes of meditation before bed, or even a quick dance break in her living room with Max. Then came the day she had been working toward, graduation. She stood in her cap and gown, heart swelling with pride, not just for herself, but for Max, who had been her biggest cheerleader. He wore a tiny graduation cap of his own, beaming with joy. The sight of him in that little cap brought tears to her eyes, and she felt a rush of gratitude for every moment that had led them there. As she walked across the stage, she thought back to those chaotic mornings, the late nights of studying, and the moments of doubt. She had transformed fear into resilience, and in doing so had shown Max the power of perseverance. The applause from the crowd seemed to echo the support she had received along the way, a reminder that community can lift us when we feel we cannot stand alone. After the ceremony, they celebrated at a small diner, sharing fries and milkshakes. "You did it, Mom," Max exclaimed, his eyes shining. "We did it together," she replied, knowing that their journey was about much more than a degree. It was about building strength through love, vulnerability, and community. As they finished their meal, she reflected on how far they had come. Each challenge they faced had been an opportunity for growth, and each small victory had built a stronger foundation for their future. That night, Sarah looked back at her gratitude journal, reflecting on the quiet moments of joy that had sustained her. She remembered the chaos of that early morning, the challenges faced, and the support found. Then she closed her eyes and whispered her new mantra, "Together we rise." For anyone out there feeling overwhelmed by the demands of life, remember Sarah's journey. Embrace the chaos, lean on your community, and turn your obstacles into stepping stones. You are not alone in this. Each small step you take is a victory, and every challenge faced is an opportunity for growth. So take a deep breath, ground yourself, and know that you have the strength within you to rise above. And just like Sarah, you can find joy in the journey, knowing that every day is a new chance to shine. Whether it's through the laughter of a child, the support of friends, or the quiet moments of reflection, remember that you are building a life filled with purpose and love. Each effort is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life, creating a masterpiece unique to you.